This is part 2 of Brutality. Compassion is the greatest need of all time, and certainly this time. Compassion is the fulcrum of balance that allows the greater extreme of will and conviction, which are the same thing in continuity. Compassion is the fulcrum of balance that allows the furthest extremes of feeling and thinking, which are the same thing in continuity. The greater the compassion, the greater the power, the energy, the extreme potential, the range, sensitivity, the sensuality, and the capability. Every person has the same basic makeup of spiritual parameters. We all possess compassion, and likewise the capability for violence in all things over and under the sun. We must choose predominant compassion and cultivate it along with all the empathies necessary for benevolent, essential, spiritual, and human intermingling, communion, and consummation. Keep this in mind. Of the many prophets to visit the earth, most of what they did or said was to be applied to their time. After all, it is sort of a de facto state of affairs. That is why they were born when they were. Their time, their place, society's need. It is difficult to come into earth and say things that will apply to the yet unknown and indescribable future. God brings in corrections to the earth process as God foresees. It is not for man to broadcast too much into the future, for it is not his typical ability to view or understand too far into this future. But it is the business of the Spirit, Son of God. As for this earth, I do not know what will fully become of it. If it cannot be redirected and made experientially bountiful for mankind, for God, then God will replace it. This has always been the case. If the societies can stay integrated, the earth can support many more life forms than if it has to fall into chaos. One way or another, change will come. Because the earth experience has peaked at this time. As for the earth, I do not know what will fully become of it. If it cannot be redirected and made experientially bountiful for God and for humankind, then it will be replaced. This has always been the case. If the societies of the earth can stay integrated through these changes, the earth can support many more people than if it has to fall into chaos. One way or another, change will come, because the earth experience has peaked at this time. It cannot go past this given what is currently happening in the powers and the principalities that have taken over this earth. Brutality is a selfish trait. Components of being human are selfless and selfish. They are layered one upon the other like an onion. The highest are combined, the higher are selfless. Animals are less brutal than many humans, if you want perspective. Animals communicate by intention and understanding. They can wonder sometimes why people don't seem to be able to listen. Mankind owes an incredible obligation to the animal kingdoms that have often sacrificed their lives for the progress of humankind. Sides of the roads are layered with the millions of bones of animals who have died to human invention and progress. What is being done to the animals in the zoos is a crime, especially to the larger and longer living breeds, like elephants, primates, bigger cats. All zoos should be closed, and the animals returned as fit as possible to their natural world. This obligation exists to the species of animals and to the individuals themselves. The same is true for the water-based animals. This correction is a need for an immediate first step towards choosing the path towards compassion and feeling and being responsible and being aware. Man's delight has been animals' plight far too long. From God's perspective, there is no death. Spirits come and spirits go from this earth. But God created spirits, not man. For man to destroy another life, including one's own, is against the creative process of God. While it is true that any action taken by a person on earth may be of God's will, the truth is that if you kill or harm someone, you are doing it from your own ego mind, most likely. If you think you're doing it for God, you're probably ego-tainted, ego-driven, devilish, demonically influenced, and wrong. There's a huge price to pay on many levels for taking life.